This shit smells so good. I remember when they first came out with the coconut, like last year or the year before. Oh my gosh, I was so mad when mine finished. And now they have them for the new collection. But they're small. Welcome back to Cosmeholics Anonymous. I am your favorite girl, Bo Vintage. And today's video is, of course, the BGC recap. This is episode 4, I think, or 5. Girl, I don't know. But let's get right into it because there's a lot to cover. And this video is probably going to be about an hour long. The episode starts with Kiana, Fran, and Sayora on the roof, basically discussing what happened the night before. They're just basically saying that they're not here for the bullying. They're basically making it clear that they are going to stick together. These girls are considered the weak bunch of the season. So as of the last episode, Kiara went to the hotel, and so now she's back from the hotel and she's trying to act like she's a changed woman, like she had time to reflect and stuff, but I already know that shit not gonna last, bitch. It's really not. Like, she's coming back and saying all this stuff to Deshayla. Basically how she's gonna be remaining focused for the rest of her time there because she feels like she's wasting her opportunity, so she wants to focus on her music. I already know that that's all talk. Like, she's the type of bitch that it's gonna take a lot more than just a one night stay at a hotel to cool down to get her to realize that she can't keep living the way she's living. Deshayla basically is agreeing with her, and she, in her confessional, she says that the other 3 girls, so Sayora, Kiana, and Fran, are fake and she could never be friends with them. And I was kind of confused as to how they're fake. But whatever, she can say what she wants to say. I get if she doesn't like them, but I don't necessarily think that they are fake, especially not Fran and Sayora. Kiana definitely has... I wouldn't say that she's fake either. I think that what happened with Kiana was that she jumped the gun. She came into the house doing too much and she realized that, and now she settled down. I guess you could call that fake, but because it was a new environment, I feel like we have to give them that pass. I already said that. The first week, okay, you know, be crazy, but once you settle in and you find your place in the house, then just relax. Like, there's no need to be all extra. 7 is also back from the hotel, and she lets it be known that she is determined to beat up Kiana. That is her main beef in the house, and she definitely wants to deal with her case. So when she comes back in the house, she automatically goes to Susan, who I guess you would say that these two are definitely best friends, while Deshayla and Kiara are best friends. So she's talking to Susan and she's basically telling her, like, the beef is definitely still on and she's still gonna whoop Kiana's ass if she gets the chance. And if she don't get the chance, bitch, she gonna make the chance, okay? Kiara is chopping... I'm really gonna have to nickname these bitches because I can't with Kiara. Like, I can't. Kiara is chopping it up with her manager over the phone and basically, like, setting up a studio session or whatever. Making a plan to execute her plan on being focused, basically. Kiara, Susan, and... what's her name? 7 are in the beauty room, and they're basically talking about how they feel like they're a science experiment. They feel like they're little gerbils and that they're, like, being watched basically by, I guess, the cameramen and also the producers. And so they just feel, they were talking about that, basically how they feel like they're trapped in a cage, and they were having a jolly old good time, honey. But then Fran came out of nowhere and she basically pages them and asks them what they're talking about. But she came at them sideways, and ever since that moment, the episode basically went to a drama festival. I guess Fran was feeling some type of way because she heard them laughing, and so when they were talking about gerbils too, I honestly did think that they were talking about the other girls at first, but then when Susan went in her confessional, before Fran said anything, she was just clarifying what they were talking about, and so that's how we knew that they weren't talking about the other girls. They were literally just talking about themselves. And so I guess Fran felt some type of way, and she's like, are you still talking about the same shit? And then Kiara tried to kind of like brush her off or whatever, but Fran wasn't having it, and they basically started to go at each other's necks. So already Kiara is going back on what she just said. She came in the house and said she's going to be focused on her music, and now the minute somebody presses her, instead of just ignoring her and keeping her word, she's ready to take Fran's head off. She starts getting loud with Fran starts getting loud with her. So at this point, Fran is like trying to turn up on Kiera, and she's trying to say like, you're a bully, all you do is bully, that's all you'll ever do is bully and stuff. And that's when Kiera gets really mad, because Kiera was doing an okay job with kind of brushing her off, even though she was getting loud with her. But this was when Fran said this about her, this is when she got angry to the point where she marched over to Fran to get in her face about it. Kiera's like, you don't know anything about where I'm from. All this shit. And so they're going at each other at this point. Seven sends Kiera away for this. She's like, you just got back in the house. Like, you don't need these problems right now. She makes Kiera go. After she sends Kiera away, she sends Fran a warning shot and lets her know that this is the one and only time she's going to do this, which is walk away. If Fran tries this shit again, she gonna whoop her ass. And so when she said that, I was like, well, okay, bitch, I see you. The season is obviously about to get really interesting if Fran, good old quiet Fran, is turning up. So I guess Kiana heard all this commotion. So she storms in from I don't even know where to console Fran or to like find out what's going on with Fran. She's talking to Fran and she's basically saying how this shit's so petty and blah 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 and childish. And of course, sorry, give me a second. Of course, Seven wants to again pick a fight with Kiana. She starts getting at Kiana for saying that she's like, now it's childish, now it's petty, blah, 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 blah. Going at her again. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired. I am tired of this shit. Like, I can't deal with it. Kiana says to Seven, like, if you want to square up, then we could square up. Like, it's not a problem. She tells that. Seven's yelling from across the room and then makes it a point to go into her confessional and say that she will whoop this girl's ass. I don't know why she just did it, because the girl said, come, let's go, and she didn't go. So I'm kind of confused as why she went to the confessional and said, well, I'm gonna beat her ass. I don't get it. Why didn't you just beat her ass? Like, why these bitches love the long talking? I don't understand. I don't get it. She's basically calling Kiana a hypocrite, and that's why she wants to beat her up. She's mad as hell. She's just mad. So Deshayla goes on to talk about how everybody's basically been trying to save Fran, I guess, from getting her ass whooped. I guess they're looking at Fran like, because Fran was very quiet the first couple of days, now they feel like she's kind of getting loud out of nowhere and she's all of a sudden has a backbone. But I don't think it wasn't that Fran didn't have a backbone before. I just think that like we saw little snippets of Fran trying to interject and they kept shutting her out, and it's not that she was letting them shut her out, she just knows when and how to pick and choose her battles. She's a smart girl. Now Deshayla is basically starting to have a problem with Fran because she feels as though all of a sudden Fran is Miss Chatty when she won't say nothing before. She also makes it a point to say she will whoop her ass if she needs to, because Fran all of a sudden grew balls overnight. At the end of the day, you guys don't know each other. It's been a week, and just because somebody's quiet don't mean they won't whoop your ass, okay? Anyway, Country Chris, who is Kiara's manager, or Kiara, whatever the fuck her name is, Kiara's manager comes over to basically reiterate what he said on the phone, because I thought he was there to pick her up to bring her to the studio. No, he came there to waste time. He came there, sat on the couch, and they basically talked about how she's going to be going to the studio on Wednesday. That was it. It was pointless. He did not need to come over. I think he just wanted to see the little loft she's living in. That's it. Key during this made a point to say that she is not just going to be Kiera from Bad Girls Club. Bitch, yes you are. Matter of fact, nobody's gonna even say from Bad Girls Club, because we're gonna forget about you and your bad wig having ass. You are no Natalie Nunn, you are no Tanisha, bitch. You are not even a Judy, bitch. Nobody is going to know who the hell you are after Bad Girls Club. I am so sorry about it, especially because of how you've already acted on the show. You're ratchet. That's it. Like, nobody's gonna know who the hell this bitch is. I'm so sorry that she's carried on bad in the first 4 episodes. So why would we even care to see anything after this? Like, we're not gonna care. You ain't popping, boo. Sorry. These girls are so dumb. Ugh. Dumb. Just fucking dumb. So I guess this is like the week where everybody's trying to find their niche, and so Fran is going to meet, or she sets up a meeting to meet with a hype coach. This is actually one of the challenges on the board, so I guess she's getting points for her team. She wants to learn how to host clubs. I didn't know that there was like classes for that. Maybe it's just like in LA. I don't think that they have classes for that here. Like in Toronto, they're just like, you're known, come host. That's it. But I think it's cool, I guess. So yeah, she calls the guy and sets up a meeting with him. Kiana, Fran, and Sayora are off to some pub to turn up. The other girls are gonna stay home, and they go out, they have fun, and Fran says in the limo or the tour bus, whatever, that she was quiet before because she was observing everybody, and then now that she sees who's who and what's what, she doesn't like what's going on in the house, and so now she will be vocal about it. I'm the same way. Like, I'm an observer. I like to observe people, and then I respond based on how I see fit, and I think that's all Fran was doing. I don't think that Fran is some pussy, like, and there would be no reason for her to grow balls overnight. Nobody grows balls overnight. It's not like she has anybody defending her, or like she's asking anybody to defend her. Fran's turning up on her own by her lonesome. She doesn't have her 2 friends there backing her up every step of the way. I'm sure they will, but like she's not expecting them to, because she can fight her own damn battles. Back at the house, the other 4 girls are waxing Kiera's pum-pum. I wouldn't let not one of them bitches wax my pum-pum. Are you guys certified, bitch? Oh my gosh. Like, I can't. I just can't. So when they get back from the club, I guess, or the pub, sorry, Kiana wants to drink her Red Bull, and she opens the fridge and she sees that one is missing. Could be the producers, could be the girls in the house drank it and they're not gonna say anything, but either way, she's looking for her damn Red Bull and can't find it. So she's pissed because you don't mess with a big girl food, honey. Child, you don't even mess with a little person's food. So of course you're not gonna mess with a big girl's food. Like, come on now. Anyway, she's like, that's literally the only thing that will set me off in here. That's literally the only thing that will actually, like, really actually anger me, piss me off, blah, blah, blah. So she's mad that somebody has misplaced her Red Bull. So she goes and she's asking around for this Red Bull. Instead of just being some stand-up bitches and saying either, no, we have not drank it, have not seen it, or yes, we did, what you gonna do about it? They want to be rude to her, and I'm just like, this is so unnecessary. It's a yes or no question. Did you see my Red Bull? Did you drink my Red Bull? Whatever the answer is, just be honest about it and keep it the fuck pushing. There was just no need for them to be rude to her. Especially not Kiera, who was her best friend like last week. Like, this show is just too much for me. I can't. Her ex-BFF was especially rude in this moment, and she basically starts yelling and turning up off of this dick. She probably took the Red Bull the way she was turning up, honey. She was on one, okay? And I was just like, this is so unnecessary. First of all, when Kiana asked her for the Red Bull, she was on the phone. And so once Kiana asked her, she stopped talking to everyone she was talking to. Kiana asked her, and then she did not say anything to you. Kiana, she's like, anyway, and continued her conversation. If you were gonna stop to listen to what she asked, why not just respond to her politely and tell her, I don't know what the fuck your Red Bull is, bitch? Like, what? Anyway, during all this, Fran starts yelling out, bully. And I'm like, okay, Fran, you better, bitch. And so she's yelling this out, and Deshayla basically is standing up for Kiera, who's in the booth, in the phone booth. Deshayla basically runs up on Fran, but what's her name? Kiana is standing there. And when she runs up on her, she's like, we could have been bullied your ass, but we didn't, blah, 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 blah. She's talking to Fran, telling her that they could have bullied her already, but they haven't. And Fran is just not even giving one fuck. Kiana is standing in between them, but she's just like, Kiera is a bully though. She is a bully. And then Deshayla's like, but is she bullying you though? Is she bullying you though? And I'm just like, this is so dumb. Like, these bitches are just fighting over nonsense at this point. They just spit everywhere. These bitches are fighting over nonsense, and it's really fucking draining. At this point, the security does run up, step in, whatever you want to call it. But at this point, Fran is letting it be known that she will throw hands if it comes down to it. She is definitely putting her foot down at this point, and she said she gonna show them what the fuck a bad girl is, honey. She ain't playing no games. You gotta love it, man. Because honestly, I know that these girls are looking at Fran because she's white. They're looking at her like she's just some little white girl and they could probably whoop her ass. Granted, they probably can whoop her ass, but just because somebody is white and you are black does not mean that they don't have hands too, bitch. So don't be surprised if you get dropped, okay? So after this, Deshayla ends up calling her mother and basically telling her, like, I'm letting you know from now, there's this little white bitch and I'm finna whoop her ass. Okay, she said I'm gonna spit on her. I can't stand her. And when she said this, I'm like, you just a nasty trifling bitch, because to spit on somebody is really low, like really low. Not to mention, she's wearing this little ratchet ass blue wig, but to be completely honest, the shit look better than her fucking blonde dreads, like better. So while she's talking to her mom on the phone, I'm thinking, this hoe is so ratchet. Like, she's just too ratchet. She's a gutter bitch, okay? And her mom says, excuse me, Lord. I thought the lady was a good God-fearing Christian woman. I thought she was gonna talk some sense into her daughter and tell her daughter that's not what you're there for. You need to better yourself. You're doing the same shit you was doing before. This ratchet ass lady on the other side of the phone tells her that she better whoop the girl's ass. I said, you are not Camilla's mom, bitch. She want to be Camilla's mom so bad. Like, I was like, hell the fuck no. No, bitch. Your mom and you are ratchet. But I believe her entire prayer went something like this. She said, excuse me, Lord, or whoever is listening, bitch, knock that bitch out. You better drag her little ass. That is the prayer that the mom said, if we could call it. That wasn't no prayer, honey. She going right to the pits of hell with that one. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's just no way that I'm watching this right now. There's no way. This is not happening. I'm sleeping. I'm dreaming about this episode right now because it's not real. Of course, this is just going to continue to escalate. Deshayla takes it upon herself to let Fran know she will whoop her ass. She basically comes into Fran's face up real fucking close and is talking all that shit. Fran puts her hands up because I guess she's ready to push her, and Deshayla's like, don't touch me, bitch. And she's like, you don't touch me, bitch. And then Deshayla's getting all up in her face and it's all dramatic and stuff. And then Fran's like, did you brush your teeth today? Oh, Fran. I'm like, Fran is me, bitch, because that's me all day. That's something I would say. Like, if somebody's in my face, I'd be like, your breath is harsh, bitch, please. Please back the fuck up. Come see me when you brush your teeth, ho. And I guess that set the bitch off because when Fran said this, she spat in Fran's, basically her mouth. She spat right in her face and they were eye to eye. So I'm assuming it hit Fran somewhere in the mouth region. Disgusting. If somebody spits on me, I can guarantee the camera just stopped recording. I can guarantee you they're getting their ass beat today. Yes, they are. You're not gonna spit in my face. Like, you're not gonna spit on me at all, but like, you're not gonna spit in my face, in my mouth. Like, come on, bro. I don't care how mad you are. I don't care what you're doing. Like, before you spit on me, you're not gonna fight me. Like, fight me first. Don't spit on me. Come on. I was so disgusted by that. But yeah, she spat in her face. And from that, Fran said, no, not today, Satan. Fran grabbed a girl by her neck, child. Fran grabbed the girl by her neck. She grabbed her by her neck. And then she proceeded to like push her backwards, and Deshayla was getting ready to like start swinging on her, but Fran had put so much force into the push, she actually knocked Deshayla's back off like the little dresser thing, and they crashed to the ground, and then they just duking it out on the floor. I would say that fight was a pretty fair one. I don't think it was a clear winner. Security ends up pulling Fran off of Deshayla, and yeah, that was basically that fight. Once this fight breaks out, Seven decides that she wants to interfere with the fight. Apparently what happened was Fran had put her finger in Deshayla's face. Fran had put her finger in Seven's face like this. I can't remember what she said, but apparently she had done that. And from then, Seven tried to turn up on Fran, but then because Kiana was standing there, Kiana came in Fran's honor. She came to the fan bitch, and so she basically jumps onto Seven, like she starts fighting Seven. Looks like everybody in this season is willing and ready to fight and throw hands, big or small. So during this fight with Seven now, Seven actually had Kiana by her hair, which last time I checked, like, this is one thing I don't like about girl fights is if you do have long hair, of course they're gonna grab it because that's control over you, but like, yeah, she had her by her hair. She was dragging her around the corner by it, and what's her name? And Kiana was trying to, I guess, hit her. And by the end, the security ended up, we didn't get to see that fight because they did go around the corner. They went behind some wall. But by the end of that fight, when security had rushed over and you see them holding Kiana got somebody weaving her hand. She had Seven's clippings, bitch. She was waving them shit like a white flag. I could not deal. Producer was trying to like drag Kiana out of there while she's holding the hair. She's just like, what's up, what's up? So I don't know who had the upper hand in that fight. We didn't get to see it, but it's clear that those two are probably gonna go at it again and again and again until one of the bitches goes home. So Kiara's in her confessional now talking shit, saying that all of a sudden Fran grew balls overnight and blah blah blah, and saying that she just had her first fight or whatever, so she's feeling good. And I'm just like, why does she keep saying this? Like, why do they keep saying she grew balls overnight? Y'all don't know this hoe. Like, you guys don't know her. What are you talking about? So we end up seeing Seven. She's basically saying she got jumped. She's really kind of scratched up. She definitely has scratches on her face. Her hand's fucked up. I wouldn't consider it jumped just because even though Kiana started fighting her while she was like having an altercation with Fran, security was in between her and Fran and they couldn't fight. I guess Kiana just took her opportunity, bitch. Sometimes you just gotta go. Like, she just took her opportunity, bitch, and they started scrapping it out. So but she was saying that she doesn't understand how Kiana didn't knock her ass out if she's the one that attacked her from the side. She's like, she attacked me from the side. She doesn't understand how she didn't just knock her out because it was a sucker punch. She had the upper hand, and so she's basically saying like she shouldn't have been able to throw that many punches to the point where she fucks up her hand from fighting Kiana, since she attacked her from an angle where she didn't see her coming from. That is a valid point, but we don't know that she fucked up her hand fighting the girl. She could have fucked up her hand around the corner because she failed. We don't know what the hell happened. So we're gonna take her word for it for now. I really wish they got that fight on tape. I really do, because I would have loved to see that shit. They've been turning up since like episode 2 at each other, and I think we as the public deserve to see that fight. Seven does end up having to go to the doctor for this hand injury. She comes back home with a cast. She says that the girls better not try her just because she has a cast on, because she will be real quick to remove the cast and whoop some ass. She also said that the doctor told her that she can't lift anything more than 25 pounds. When she said this, I automatically knew that whatever came out of her mouth next was going to be an insult directed at Kiana, and it sure the hell was. She said something about Kiana being at least 300 pounds. I'm just like, that's honestly all she's been going at. Like, she just keeps calling the girl fat, and I'm just over it. I'm just like, okay, is there anything else, ma'am? Anything else you got? I honestly hope Tanisha rips into her ass at the reunion, because she been coming for the big girls. Like, she been coming for them. And she better be careful, because Tanisha don't play that shit, bitch. She gonna find the fuck out if she keeps that shit up. I don't know why everything has to be, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat. Like, shut up, bitch. Like, really. So in the next part, it gets a little sad. Susan's mother calls and basically is letting Susan know that her little sister's best friend passed away, and her little sister is freaking out. It was definitely a little emotional. I had a quad tear, I ain't gonna lie. I definitely had a little quad tear going. She ends up talking to her sister. Her sister is really sad. But then once the conversation ends, they ask her, Seven is asking her, like, you want to stay in or you want to go out? Whatever you want to do, I'm gonna do with you. So she was being really supportive of her, which I thought was dope. That was cool of Seven to do. But then Kiera, the girl that runs the world, okay, comes around the corner and he's like, no, you have to go out because you have to go out, like blah 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 blah. I'm sorry, but I ain't gotta do shit, bitch. If it were me, honestly, if it were me, I wouldn't give a fuck. I think I get what she was trying to do with that. She was just trying to say, like, just because you got bad news doesn't mean that you have to stay in and mope around and be sad about it. I totally get that, but at the same time, it's just like, this is real fresh. It's not like it happened yesterday or something, you know? She just got the call. Let her breathe. Let her make a decision. If she probably was gonna stay at home, but because Kiera came and was like, blah, 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 that's why she decided to go out. And so I'm just like, well, I guess I know who runs this house, bitch. Because my ass would have been staying inside. It was clear that that wasn't what was going to happen. She was going to go out because Kiera said she has to go out. So, whatever. Nobody runs me, bitch. So, though all the girls did get into the van, they went to 2 separate venues. The cool girls went to, I think, a bar. And the other girls went to a club. So once they get back in the van, Fran is basically saying how lit it was, and Kiana agrees. And Susan gets mad right away. As soon as they started talking, I already knew that the other girls were gonna have something to say about it. They were gonna be mad or something was gonna happen. I knew, because they're just so fucking petty. So after Fran and Kiana say it's lit, or that it was lit, Susan starts speaking in Spanish, and she basically says, these bitches better shut the fuck up. I don't know why she couldn't say it in English, but whatever. She said it in Spanish. Nobody understood her except for herself. They probably did understand one word, which was bendejo. Bendejos? Is that right? Bendejas. Bendejas? That's not right. Pendejas. Pendejas? Girl, I don't know, bitch. I always thought bitch was puta. Girl, whatever. The point is, okay, I ain't Spanish, child. I don't fucking know how to speak it. But the point is that when this happened, obviously they knew that they were talking about them. Susan was talking about the other girls. Kiana starts speaking in Patois, and she's just like how she doesn't care about no dirty gal either. So she kept speaking in Patois, and I was like, Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus, help me, Jesus, honey. I said, this night is just gonna go to shit again. It's just gonna go to shit because these bitches just can't stop. Like, they just can't. They have no self-control. When Kiana was talking about Dirty Gal, I was dying because I was just like, I wonder if these girls even understood her just now, because I know a lot of people don't understand Patois and they can't understand it, but it's English, it's broken English. So how do you not understand? She said, gal, that's girl. She said, dirty, that's dirty. Like, how you not understand that? Anyway, this comment set Susan off. Susan accuses Kiana of mocking her. And I was like, bitch, you stupid as hell. She did not mock you in any way, shape, or form. You spoke in your language, she spoke in hers. What is the problem? Why are you mad? Like, this part really irritated me, because I'm just like, you just did something, talking shit about them in a different language, and now that she's saying something, it's a problem. I don't understand that. That is so stupid. And I was so glad that none of the other girls chimed in at this point. Because of all this drama, Kiara steps in and she's basically telling Susan, like, you have real life problems going on at home. Just ignore this, because Susan was getting irritated. And so she's telling her to just ignore this. And then Kiana was trying to say, she's like, but I didn't do nothing though. And then I was just like, bitch, yes you did, bitch. You just replied to what she said. I'm not saying either one of you two bitches are right, but you can't say that you didn't do anything, because you purposely said something because she said something about you guys in Spanish. Whether you understood it or not, you still knew she was talking about you, and that's why you said what you said. So don't try to act like you didn't do nothing, because you know what you did, bitch. I guess they're drunk, right? So it's just, anyway, Kiana starts talking about how, let me do my makeup, Chalka. I'm just standing here or sitting here. Kiana starts yelling about how her grandma just died 3 weeks ago and she doesn't have time for this. So Fran is trying to cover Kiana's mouth to get her to stop, because Fran probably just ain't in the mood for no drama tonight. Like, can we get one drama-free night? Like, the fact that they had to separate and go to 2 separate venues speaks volumes. It should never even get to that point that you guys can't tolerate each other for one night out, you know? So Kiana starts talking about her grandmother that passed away 3 weeks ago, and basically saying like nobody gave a shit about it. Then Kiara steps in and starts basically consoling her and telling her like they understand, blah 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 blah. But I was just like, you guys are so backwards, fake as hell. Like, 1 minute you're being rude to her while you're on the phone and not fucking with her, and now you're telling her you understand her grandma died, but like no drama, blah blah blah. Like, I'm just like, make up your mind. Like, she's so annoying to me. I can't wait for her to leave the house. I really just can't wait. So at this point, Susan gets up and she is threatening to swing on, quote unquote, this fat bitch. And I'm just like, why everybody keep coming for this girl's weight? And I mean, I don't know why Susan is calling everybody fat, because it's not like she is size 2 hoe. Like, you're no size 2 bitch. So I just can't. I can't. Era ends up getting up and like pushes Susan back down to like relax her and to tell her to chill. And then Susan starts telling Fran that she got something for her ass too. And what else is going on? I'm like, this is too much. Like, I am very tired. I'm drained and I'm over it. Like, I need these bitches to get home and go to their fucking bed. That's what I need from this show right now. For these girls to go home and go to bed. Because clearly, they can't even handle one night out. So, they're bickering. Deshayla is in confessional and she's talking about how she's tired of the shit. Much like I am, or I was, whatever. And she said, basically, to keep the peace, she's going to apologize to Fran and she's just going to keep her at a distance. She's going to keep her close enough, but she's going to keep her at a distance. And I'm just like, Deshayla's probably the most flip-flop ass hoe in the house. This is the second time she's doing this. The first time was with Sayora, and now she's doing it with Francesca. And I don't get why nobody else is seeing this, but this is the second time she's doing it, and I don't like it at all. Make up your fucking mind. You guys don't fuck with her, and then you guys do fuck with her, and then like, just make up your fucking mind. I don't understand. Stick to your motherfucking guns. If you don't fuck with me, then you don't fuck with me, and there is no apologies. Like, you spat in her face. Should she apologize for spitting in her face? Yes, but what is the point of Fran accepting something like that? Like, that's the lowest of the lows, the most disrespectful thing. You already did it, and you meant it. You called your mom and told her that that's what you were gonna do. So why are you now apologizing for it? You're a fake bitch. Like, stop. Oh, I hate this show. I hate it. So when they get back to the house, Fran and Deshayla get to talking. Deshayla like pulls her to the side and gets to talking to her about, is basically trying to pull the I was hurt card. You're so hurt that you're gonna spit on me, bitch? Are you fucking crazy? Like, what world do these bitches live in? Please let me know. I can't. Pray for these hoes before you go to bed tonight, okay? That's my one request from you guys as my loyal subscribers. Pray for these bitches before you go to bed. What I failed to understand was how she was hurt by Fran. How are you hurt by this girl? What did she do to you? I was so confused by that. I'm like, what do you mean you were hurt, bitch? She didn't even explain it. Like, did they edit it out? What were you hurt by? So Fran is trying to say that she was hurt too, and Fran is actually accepting this weak ass apology. Whatever. I don't have to live in the house, so you know what? I can't even have any kind of opinion to say that she shouldn't. But if there's one thing I hate, it's a bitch with bad brows and motherfucking excuses, bitch. And that's exactly what Deshayla is. So sorry about it. Fran thinks that Deshayla's apology is genuine and she accepts it, and they move on. So Kiana is going around the house yelling, weak ass bitch. Susan is definitely in her feelings about it. She starts telling Susan to come and drop her. Susan is in her bed wrapped up in her blanket looking tired. She don't even want she's not even trying to, she's not in the mood. Like, she just lost her family friend. She's not trying to fight today. Like, she just wasn't. But she was definitely in her feelings about what was going on. Kiana is telling her to run up. She's saying, I already did. And she's like literally smiling and laughing in her bed. She's like, I already ran up. Like, I don't need to run up again. The last time she ran up on a girl, she definitely dropped her to the floor. Even though she never got any punches in, she still managed to swing her ass down. So Kiana starts saying, my people died, your people died, what's up? Like, that is a reason to fight or something. She keeps saying that, and so I'm just watching to see where this is all gonna, you know, unfold to. And Fran decides to interject, and she says, who died, her husband or some shit like that? And I said, oh no, she didn't. Fran. I'm like, oh, Fran is really taking it there. Fran is ready for the get down. Like, Fran knows what buttons to push with Susan. She obviously knew that husband comment was gonna trigger the fuck out of Susan. And it did. Honestly, when Fran said that, I was laughing because I couldn't believe that she said it. And so I was kind of laughing out of shock that she said it. And then in confessional, Susan starts saying that Fran's mouth better come with some hands because she's definitely gonna whoop that ass. I think what's funny about this is that Susan or the other girls seem to act so surprised and in shock when the girls that they consider weak are rude back to them. Like, how much shit did you guys think they were gonna take? You guys are talking shit about them in your confessionals. You guys are talking shit about them, period. How much shit did you think they were gonna take before they actually started to speak up about it? The truth is that if Susan wasn't out here acting like a damn widow since she wanted to be fucking people while she married, nobody would say anything about her man. Like, she really fucked up day one when she told Sayora that. She should never have said anything. But you know what I feel? I almost feel as though if she said that information to anybody else, I feel like the story would have still unraveled the same way it did. They would have still judged her because everybody was judging her based off of that to begin with, except for maybe Seven. And so either way, I think the story would have played out the same no matter who she told, because the way Susan said that she was not faithful to her husband was in a way where she was feeling like it was cool, like it was a cool thing to do. She was gloating almost, and it wasn't cute. So I think that anybody would have taken it the same way Sayora did. It just happened to be Sayora that got it, and it just happened to be Sayora that shared that information. But she definitely fucked up by telling people that, or telling Sayora that on day one, because that was the one thing that triggered her. It's like she basically put all her cards on the table on day one. Never show your hand, bitch. Never show your hand. So now it is time for Key's studio session. She takes Seven and Deshayla with her to the studio. Susan ends up staying behind. Susan basically calls her little sister and lets her know that she's coming home after she whoops homegirl's ass for talking about her man. So basically, I'm thinking that Susan stayed home from the studio so that she could handle business, but that is not what happened. So Key's at her studio session, and I didn't know why this bitch sounded like E40. I could never listen to her music because of the way she raps. Like, I don't fuck with E40, and I definitely don't fuck with her. It's probably like a Bay Area thing, but yeah, she definitely sounds like a female E40. She's just rapping like this on the track, yeah. I can't even deal, like, she just sounded like, I'm that bitch, yeah, what, yeah, dick, what, yeah, ooh, like, yo, she dead ass sounded like E40. I was mad, you guys. I was watching it like, nah, this is not how this girl's really rapping right now. I was dead. What got me, though, is that after the studio session, she's all like, my dreams are coming true, blah, blah, blah. and she's crying, and I'm just like, is this her first studio session? You're a rapper and you never been in the studio before? Not to mention you have a manager, so what exactly was he managing? I thought that she's been doing this. Like, she's never had a studio session. She's crying because she got one verse done on one track. I was actually stunned. I was like, there's no way this is this girl's first studio session. She's legit bawling her eyes out. So Susan ends up paging Kiana, okay? But her intent was not to page Kiana. Her intent was to page, what's her name? Francesca. What happened was, instead of addressing Francesca right away, she decided to address Kiana. This is after the girls got back from the studio. I found it real interesting. She was home all day with these bitches and didn't say nothing, okay? They didn't even film it. Like, they didn't even bother filming back at the house because nothing was happening. I thought that's why she stayed home from the studio, so she could whoop ass and go home. The other girls are back now. She goes to Kiana. She basically pages her about her comment last night about you lost someone, I lost someone. But then she's like, and she's saying this to Kiana. She's like, but then she was like, something about my husband, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm just like, why isn't she saying this directly to Fran? So then Kiana's like to her, well then do something about it. You look stupid. And I was like, yeah, bitch, you look dumb. Why are you talking to the wrong person? I didn't understand. And then she's basically trying to say like, she's like, I will drag a bitch when I want to drag a bitch. And I'm just like, okay, this is dumb. You had ample opportunity. I'm pretty sure you could have got her today, but you decided not to for some reason. And now that your homegirls are back, you're ready to turn up, which is what I didn't understand. Susan is standing outside of the room, ice grilling Fran, okay? Like, she's staring at her like a bitch in heat. Like, she's staring at this girl from outside the room.
I just don't get this whole gender thing.
Why is Siri active right now, bitch? What? Go away. So she's staring at Fran from outside the room, and Fran smiles and waves like the queen, bitch. She said, no, she didn't do this. She actually just went. And I was like, oh my god, why is Fran so bold? She really is really bold. Like, she's smiling at her, and Susan is standing outside the room getting angrier and angrier, to the point where this bitch thinks that it's a good idea to pick up a motherfucking tail comb. So she didn't, it wasn't a regular tail comb, it was one of those tail combs you use to like itch your weave with, like if you have a sew-in and you need to itch it, it had a metal tail on it. And so she grabs this and she's holding it like it's a shank in prison, bitch. Like she was on Orange is the New Black hoe. And I was like, what is going on here? So then Fran's like, what is that, a rat tail comb? Yo, this show is gold, you guys. So yeah, she's standing there like she really about to stab somebody. And Fran calls her out like, really, what's good? So Kiara rushes over to her and is like, yo, what are you doing? Like, she takes the comb from her and like puts it down. Kiara was in her confessional talking about there's a look in Susan's eyes that she hasn't seen before, and she's kind of scared because she feels like this house is a little too much for her to handle at this point because she's going through so much and blah blah blah. Obviously she needs psycho eval, because why was she standing there with the comb like she was really about to like stab somebody? But then I feel like she was just doing it for show, because why is she just standing there? Why didn't she charge at her? Like, if she was blacked out like she was trying to act like she was when she got back, like, why would she not have done anything? Why was she just standing there being a weirdo? You know what I mean? It was like she was hypnotized, bitch. She was in the sunken place, ho. Like, she was in the sunken place. The producers end up sending her to a hotel, and Susan was acting hella dumb, like she didn't think she needed to go to a hotel for the night. Like, oh, I couldn't even deal. She was so annoying. I'm like, okay, bye, bitch. Go now. See you never. Sayora lends her opinion and says she thinks that Susan should go home. I definitely agree, because I'm not living in no house with no bitch that's picking up a comb as a shank. No. Like, no. Because if you was going to do that while I'm awake, bitch, I don't know what you finna do when I'm asleep. And it's never that deep for you to be trying to stab somebody at the Bad Girls Club. Like, I don't think there's ever been a season where somebody tried to use So like a shank, like a literal shank. Do they have knives in the kitchen? I'm confused. Do they lock up the knives? Because these bitches are crazy. Like, imagine that. Imagine they were living with this girl for a week and didn't know she was psycho bananas. So Fran is going to meet with the hype coach, and he is supposed to teach her how to be hype. Of course her girls tag along with her. We learned that Fran was is a ballet dancer as well as a jazz dancer. I thought that was a little cool fun fact because she didn't really strike me. I guess her tattoos kind of threw me off. She didn't strike me as that type. I don't know. She looked more like a dog walker. Like, I don't know. Like, she just didn't seem like she was a ballet dancer. She's not your average ballet dancer, which I didn't know ballet dancers were allowed to have tattoos. I thought because you're always in, like, you know, leotards and bodysuits that you weren't really allowed to not be all perfect and your skin be free of ink. So maybe she got them after, but yeah, like, I don't know nothing about no damn ballerina, so I don't even know why I'm trying to comment on the shit. But yeah, I was actually really surprised that she was a ballet dancer. The meeting with the hype coach is kind of fun. I had no idea that being a hype woman, hype man was like an actual job you could get training for. Like, I thought it was just something you end up doing. I never thought that it was actually a job title. But they had fun there, so whatever. So, of course, back at the house, this is the next day, I believe. So the producers do end up sending Susan home. They sit her down and let her know, bitch, your time is up, ho. You shouldn't have done what you did. Of course, Seven's ass is bawling her eyes out because she loves Susan. And so, I think they really did bond. And so she was quite sad that Susan was going home. Nobody wants to see their best friend leave, you know? So Seven was really upset about that and said her goodbyes, basically. Fran is obviously happy that Susan has gone home. And you already know what this means because somebody's gone home in the first week. They are obviously getting a replacement. I don't know which side the replacement is going to fall on or if she's going to be an outcast, but they're definitely getting one next week. I just hope they don't pull that shit where the replacement comes, like, towards the end of the episode. They better get her in there at least in the middle of the episode so we can see how she gels. Once Susan leaves, and to be honest, it's kind of ironic that Susan was the first to go because it was her drama that started the drama in the house in the first place. The fact that she had a husband and let that information out, and the whole argument with Sayora, which everything revolving around Susan is the reason the house got divided in the first place. So I thought it was really ironic that she's the first to go. So Kiera, who obviously, like I said before, runs her group of friends. So Seven and Deshayla are the only two left because Susan just went home. Because she is Queen Bitch, the HBIC, some may say, she tells the girls that they're gonna squash the beef with the other side of the house. And I was just like, really? Now that Susan left, all of a sudden y'all squashing beef? Really? She's saying it to them as if it's on some fake shit. So she's like, we're gonna tell them that we're done with the beef shit for now, just because I don't want to lose another girl. Like, she's saying, like, out of the two she has left, she doesn't want to lose another one. It ain't gonna last, bitch. Somebody gonna go home again. Don't get it twisted. It's probably gonna be you because you're definitely a shit disturber. She calls Fran into the room and basically is telling her, like, they're done beefing. So they do call a truce. In confessional, all of a sudden, Kiera is talking about how they as a group look childish and it's embarrassing and blah, 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 blah. Bitch, Kiana was saying this earlier and Seven jumped down her throat about it. Granted, Kiara is saying, or Kiara, whatever the fuck her name is, she's saying this in her confessional, so it's not like she's saying it to them as a group. But when Kiana was saying this exact same thing, that the whole shit's childish, after all the drama had already popped off, Seven got in her ass about it, okay? She was just like calling her a hypocrite and everything, and I'm like, so is Kiara not a hypocrite? Is she not a hypocrite? Because she's saying the exact same thing that homegirl was saying. And I get that they're in a weird situation. They're in an environment that they can't really control. Like, they're living with people they don't know. I get the attitude adjustments and changes in behavior based on the situation they're in. So if Kiana is saying, like, it's childish, she's not wrong to say that. And for Seven to jump down her throat about it just because the first day or the second day she wanted to cause drama, and she did, and now she doesn't want to have drama anymore because she realizes it's tiring, then let her be. Like, I can't stand that Seven wants to pick a fight with Kiana every chance she gets when she ain't even talking to her. Like, come on now. Anyway, I just felt that it was ironic that Kiara was in confessional saying the exact same thing that Kiana was saying, and Seven called her out for. These hoes are backwards, okay? Next week will be lit. We're gonna have a new girl. We're probably gonna have some serious drama. I know that Kiara calls, what's her name? Kiana's mom the devil. I should not be laughing at that, but it's gonna be some mess next week, honey. Some mess. Bro, I'm gonna have to go buy like 4 more. I only bought 2 because they're little, right? I don't know why they didn't make the big ones again. Like, look at the size difference. And this one was the coconut one too, I think. No, this was regular. This one, the big one is 100 milliliters, and this one's only 30. Like, ugh. Like, you just want to spray so much because it smells delectable. Anyway, you guys, that is it for this week of Bad Girls Club. I will definitely see you next week for episode 5 or whatever the fuck episode we're on, because I don't know. So yeah, I love you all. Tell me your thoughts for this week's episode down below. I will definitely see you in the next one.